What's going on, people? Welcome back to the match preview as we look ahead to the Premier League tie against Newcastle on the weekend. As always, if you do enjoy the content, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to not miss out on future Palace content. And let us know your thoughts ahead of the game in the comment section down below. I'm joined by Patrick here to discuss that game against Newcastle. Patrick, we faced them twice now this season in the league, of course, at their ground, 0-0. In the League Cup, we lost some penalties, but that was also a draw as well. Just going into this game, based on what you saw against Manchester United and what you saw against Palace versus Newcastle so far this season, how are you feeling?
Obviously, the United point was very important. I thought the performance against Chelsea was very encouraging. So I'm much more optimistic than I was before. I mean, I wasn't necessarily down. It's just that, obviously, like I said, the season's basically us trying to stay mid-table, which is fine. I like some more things that Vieira did, which we'll get into later on. But obviously, playing Hughes, playing Edouard, playing Richards proved to be, things that worked out for us. And then the sub that came on did a good job. So I'm optimistic about the match going forward.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I think that's why it was so important to get something out of the United game against Manchester United, because it eases the pressure going into this game. Where at home again, it's an evening kickoff on a Saturday, which apparently we don't do too well in. I can't remember the last time we won, but I was on the Newcastle preview on Loaded Mag, and they read out a stat. It doesn't look good for us in the evenings on Saturdays.
Okay.
But look, it's just that you can see the boost he gave to the players, to the fan base. Like, we could have potentially won that United game. I mean, yes, we scored in the 91st minute, but we also had chances towards the end where if Wan-Bissaka wasn't playing at Man United, which that could have been a high possibility if Dalot wasn't injured a few weeks ago. Right now, Wan-Bissaka probably won't get an opportunity.
Good point.
You never know. I think Will puts it through, and we actually play solid football against United. So it gives me the confidence and it eases the pressure. But talking about some of those changes that Patrick Vieira has made, he also hinted that he's willing to make changes for the Newcastle game. He talked about fixture congestion. So for you, if he was to make any changes, realistically, who do you see it being?
I could honestly seeing him changing the midfield and putting, let's say, Luka or most likely Jeffrey Schlupp back in there. I really can. I can see it. I mean, I thought Hughes played well. He wasn't great passing-wise, but no. But let me just say, but I like what Hughes brings. He brings ability to look forward with the passes, even though he didn't, get, a lot of success with them. But also, I love the niggly part of what Hughes does. And defensive part, which is important. Yeah, he messed up on the goal, but so did the Corey, so you can't really blame them. But you say he can't do that. He can do whatever he wants to do, D. But the truth of the matter is, you're the one to mention it. He's thinking about making changes. We talk about congested schedule. This is going to be our third match in 6-7 days. It's a lot of games for one player to play all three in. Unless you kind of have to, like Guaita or Gahey or Klein or Mitchell. But, so...
Well, Hughes hasn't played in all those games. He hasn't started in all those games, so there's no real excuse to drop Hughes after the performance that he's had. I think it would be crazy to drop Hughes or Richards based on the performance they've had. The change that I think that he will make going into this game could be Mateta being dropped for the likes of Jordan Ayew or Eze. I think that change wouldn't surprise many Palace fans. I think it will be a positive change. But for me, you can't change your midfield. You just can't put Jeffrey Schlupp back in there after what Will Hughes done in midfield. He eased the pressure of Decore. It all worked out fine against one of the better sides in the Premier League, one of the most informed, if not the most informed side in the Premier League. So in midfield or in defense, I don't think you do changes there. If you was to do a change, you could do it up front. You could put Edouard up front or change with a number 10. But for me, it should be minimal changes in the first place because we played well. We got that momentum. They managed to pick up a point. The subs also worked out, which is key. I know Jeffrey Schlupp won that free kick and Jordan Ayew didn't have a bad performance coming off the bench as well. But the reason for that is because they're better suited to that role. So keep the players in their roles. It worked out well. Schlupp coming off the bench, Ayew coming off the bench, and let the players that should be starting start. And you can have that debate between Ayew and Eze. But for me, Hughes and Richards is non-negotiable. They have to start.
Well, you made a good point to me yesterday. I hadn't realized that we don't have a match next week because it's the FA Cup, I guess the 5th round, whatever round coming up. So we actually are going to have a 2-week break. That allows Anderson to get fitter and also allows us, you're right, to play the same lineup as we played against United and then have those players have, time off because there's a 2-week gap. So from that standpoint, hopefully, I'm with you. Hopefully he does start Hughes, does start Richards because Anderson's injured. and does hopefully take out Mateta, move Edouard one spot forward for me, and put Eze in as a 10. If he starts Ayew, I won't be that upset, but I'd much rather have Eze in there than have Ayew, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, let's look at the league table as we always do in the match previews. Of course, we picked up with a point against Manchester United as we're recording right now. Spoiler alert: Tottenham were actually losing 3-2, but I think that changed to 4-2. But as the league table stands right now, a win could potentially bring us up to 11th, which is positive. A draw will keep us at 12th. And if we were to lose based on goal difference, we'll still remain at 12th as well. Patrick, in terms of importance in this game, how important do you think it is to not lose this game? Not even about winning, but to not lose this game and have that 2-game unbeaten streak going into that Manchester United game after the break?
Yeah, I think Newcastle are a very good side, but I think it's important that we try to build some momentum. We got a little momentum out of Chelsea, but lost. Got what I hope is some momentum again going with Man United. But I think Saturday we have to try and get a point out of this game. At the minimum, if you were to win that match, and all of a sudden now things just kind of change. Also, a major part of this is for me is that this is our last match before the transfer deadline is over. We don't play again. So for us, imagine having a victory or, getting those extra 3 points, like you just mentioned, going up the table at another spot. And all of a sudden we're pretty much solid in that 11th, 12th spot, but we've also come on off 4 points in 2 matches. Then he can go out, maybe sign, hopefully that center midfielder. And I'm hoping, and a right back.
Yeah. Or you could potentially next weekend, as we got no Palace playing, you can see the PPV between Tex and Parish. I mean, it'll be an interesting fight.
We're not doing
they
that.
seem like they're going back at it right now, based on the media reports. But that's a video. That's another video. That's another discussion point. I'm trying to organize something. I've got something in the works, and if it does work out, it'll be very interesting. The person that I'll be talking to, but it's still in the works. So I don't want to give it away too much because it might not happen. But in terms of Newcastle, Patrick, what have you made of them so far this season? Because I 100% agree. I think Newcastle's a very solid side, but this is an opportunity against a side that we faced twice this season. And you can say we got lucky in the first game with that Mitchell VAR incident, and maybe they should have scored a goal. Maybe they should have won that game. But we're unbeaten against them. And for me, momentum and consistency is what we've been lacking all season long. If you're 2 games unbeaten against Newcastle and Manchester United, the confidence it gives the fan base and to the players will be massive. And I think this is a very good opportunity. I'm not just saying this because we got a point against Manchester United, but we've seen positives in the Chelsea game. We saw even more positives in the Manchester United game. So why can't we get a point against Newcastle, who they are one of the best sides, if not the best side defensively, and I think it's going to be a very struggle to break them down, even though we've got good attackers. But in terms of going forward, they're not firing on all cylinders as they were before. They got some good attacking players, but we can most definitely keep a clean sheet. So for me, a point is the minimum that I want to see. A point. I'm setting targets now. If you go unbeaten in this game, potentially keep a clean sheet, or even if it's a 1-1 draw, I'll be happy with that because that gives us that boost, gives us a nice little break before the transfer window closes that we can build on. But for you, Patrick, Newcastle, talk to me. What have you made of them?
They're very good. I mean, say you want about Eddie Howe. I've always thought he was a very good manager, a great trainer, a person like Eric Ten Hag, I mentioned in our previous previews about Man United, who makes players better. They're an excellent side right now. They're sitting in 4th place on 38 points. They've conceded 11 goals all season. The best defense in the Premier League, which is ridiculous. Yeah. And it's not like they have, I know they bought Sven Botman and they bought Dan Burn. It's not like they have like really big names in that on the defensive line, or they have an England backup goalkeeper, obviously. So they've got a solid team. They've lost 1 match all season. The match I remember because the last minute game against Liverpool. It's like only other team that's lost 1 game is Arsenal. They're a good side. Listen,
but they draw a lot of games then. I assume because they're not top of the league.
They've drawn 8 exactly. They got 10 wins, 8 draws, and that one loss. So they're a very good side. Listen, it's a team. I'm with you. It's a team that if you get a point, you got to be happy with. We've gotten again the 2 draws. Of course, we lost some penalty kicks in the League Cup. To me, it would lay down a bit of a marker for us to kind of, our record against the team above us is not very good. We don't have a win against any of them. Even get a point would be good. We've got a point so far, obviously, against Liverpool and now Man United. So it's not like we've got a ton of points against them, but we can do something against them. But they're a good side. Listen, well coached, good players. And then what will happen is once they get to really spend this Saudi money, they're going to be even better which is very scary for me.
Exactly, but you have to give credit to Eddie Howe because people
100%
often go the route that they gotta take over and that's why they're brilliant. But look at some of the players that he's Almiron that was there before, Joe Linton that he's transferred.
Joe Linton,
that's down to good coaching, and that's why
Yep.
you have to give credit to Howe, in my personal opinion, because
I agree.
He's done a very good job there so far. But whether he can continue it in the long run, that's another conversation, and we'll see. But look, credit to Newcastle for being great. But of course, Patrick, they're missing a few key players. They're missing the likes of Guimaraes in this game, and he's been one of the most important players so far this season. So in terms of like the tactical battle, as you said, they're very solid defensively. Are you confident that we can score a goal? I mean, they've only conceded 11. And against Man United, let's be honest, it was a good performance. We were much better defensively. They didn't create that many chances, but we also didn't create that many chances as well. I feel like we created more chances against Chelsea than Manchester United. When you look at some of the players, I think Dan Burn versus Elise, that's a battle that we can win if Elise is on his day. And apparently, they might play Saint-Maximin down the left-hand side, who doesn't like to track back. So you can have Nathaniel Klein, Elise, attacking Dan Burn. That could be an interesting battle. Wilf, I don't care how good Trippier is. He's going to be attacking a lot. You can definitely take him on as well. So for you, Wilf and Elise can win this battle, but it's the player up front. Can he beat the likes of Shah and Botman because they've been brilliant?
Yeah, and that's why I kind of prefer to have Edouard because of his ability to finish a half chance. But honestly, you might need the size of Mateta because of how big Dan Burn is, Shaw, Botman. You know, you might again. This is a
but
great.
Didn't play that great though, Mateta. So would you still start him?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't. That's the thing. I'm a little worried about. Yeah, he's physical, but to me, you know what? Actually, I went back and watched the game. His whole play. I remember I mentioned on the rate play. His whole play wasn't as bad as I thought it was. It actually was okay. It's just they didn't get himself in position to score a goal. But you make a great point about the forward play. But I'm actually looking at the midfield. They don't have John Joe Shelby. They don't have Guimaraes. So their choices are going to be Joe Linton, Sean Longstaff, Joe Willock, Matty Longstaff, and Elliot Anderson. That midfield battle is something we have to win. We have to win that. Decore and Hughes, hopefully it's him, have to win that midfield battle because that's where a lot of time we struggle, and we should not struggle against Newcastle midfield with Bruno Guimaraes being out. We really shouldn't.
Yeah, but saying that, one thing that I'm worried about is Joe Linton. He's very tall,
I respect him. Physical. I respect him.
Yeah, he's tall, physical. I don't know if we have the midfielders. Will Hughes, we know that he can put in a tackle. We've seen that a few times.
And Decore,
but they're not physical as much as Joe.
Yeah.
That's the slight concern. But look, they're solid side. And
wait. So do you start Luca because of that? He's more physical, you would guess.
He's more physical, but is he worth starting?
No, like, I'm just saying. You mentioned him, so yeah. I mean, I don't know. To think about.
I'll say we have to win a midfield battle. I'll say with Hughes and Decore anyways, because they're decent with the ball on the feet, and they're coming off a good game together as well. But look, head to head, it's not that great, is it? I believe that you got the stats out there. I don't know if you still do. We're talking about pre-show, but we've only beat them 4 times, and they're beating us 8.
4 wins for Palace, 7 draws, 8 wins for Newcastle. The last 2 you mentioned have been 0-0 draws. Last season, Newcastle won 1-0. Before that was a 1-1 draw. 1-1 draw. Before that, we had a win away, 2-1 Newcastle. Very rare for us. I guess that was the gyro goal. I'm trying to remember. Hold on, I'll click on it. Yep, gyro goal and a Gary Cahill. That must have been during COVID, I believe. Then a 2-0 Newcastle win, a 1-0 Palace win at home, a 1-0 Newcastle win away, a 1-0 Palace win away. I'm telling you, 0-0, 1-0 looks like the score because a lot of these games have been very, very close. There's been no big games except for the famous, which I'm sure you remember, the 5-1 2015 game when we went down the early goal.
Oh yeah,
5 straight. Remember?
That was the spot.
Giving it last. Yeah,
I was there.
Exactly. So, but it's going to be a close game.
Damn.
It was 2015. Yeah, 8 years.
So talking about close game, let's move on to the score predictions then. I love this part of the show. You know what we should actually do? I'm just thinking about right now. We should create a table about score prediction.
No, because it's gonna be bad.
We should.
Next season.
You know who'll come bottom every single time?
Me.
T. I'm joking.
He's not here to defend himself.
Exactly. That's what you get, T, for not appearing. He was meant to be here. He's not here. That's what he gets. Hashtag blame T. But look, score prediction. We talked about it. We seem a bit confident. We got that energy about us, Patrick, me and you.
I know where you're going. So I know what I'm gonna do. I know where you're going.
Yeah, I don't think you know where I'm going.
Yeah, I do.
I'm not that confident.
Yeah.
I'll start. All right, look, I'll start.
Okay.
I'll start. As you assumed, you know where I'm going, so you can tell me if I'm right. If you thought that I would say this, I'm going for a 0-0. I'm going for a 0-0.
I'm wrong.
I'm expecting another 0-0. Or I can't do this. This is cheating. But don't be surprised if it's 1-0 Newcastle as well. I think we will struggle to score goals against the back line. I do think that. Saying that, what should be 4-3 Palace or something crazy like that. But for you, Patrick, how do you see this? You've been positive.
Well,
give me a few Palace goals.
I'll give you credit. I thought you could go with a 2-1 Palace win. I'm shocked that you didn't.
But it doesn't sound realistic. But what happened?
As I said before, a lot of the fixtures have been very, very close. I really feel that the Man United game gives us a bit more confidence. We're home again, under the lights. Yeah, people say haven't been that great under the lights on Saturday, whatever. I'm going for 1-1, which isn't a bold prediction, but I'm going for 1-1. I think we can get a point out of it because I really believe that we're starting to turn the corner, at least performance-wise, if not, results-wise. So, yeah, they're very good defensively. Yeah, they're a very good team, but I think we can get a point out of this. I'm going to go 1-1.
Let us know what you guys think in the score prediction. 1-1, 0-0. So we're both predicting a draw. Hopefully it does happen. Hopefully we don't lose the game, so we can build on this game. Exactly, at the very least, because you want to go into that 1 week break between the Tex and Parish battle, and you want to see how it works out with a bit of a draw. You don't want to go there with negative energy. But look, that's it from me and Patrick. As always, if you do enjoy the content, leave a like and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. We'll be back on Saturday talking about that game in more detail. But until next time, up the Palace.
Up the Parish.